voy a encender y te invito a guardachar.
Yep, I've been trying to see if I can hear the difference between an extra stage of digital to analog and analog back into digital versus a straight digital. I've been doing this for a few days. And the problem I had was, if I know which one is which, I start to fool myself or lean towards what I want to be true, which is pure digital, being superior. But when I was doing blind testing, I couldn't consistently, at the beginning, make out digital as being superior. And then I went back to listening and then wondering why. Because when I was listening to and picking analog, I was thinking it was a bit narrower and maybe an inch deeper. And I was thinking maybe it's because the left and right are more correct, and saying all these things to myself. And digital, when I was doing blind and picking analog, it was wider, and I thought, oh, if it's wider, it must be less correlation between the channels and all that sort of stuff. But I couldn't really work it out until you can actually train yourself to identify the different signals. And so I guess I still think the digital is cleaner, because it makes its way from the lossless Apple server through a bit perfect chain to the DSP in digital, and from there it's handled in a 64-bit environment, blah blah blah, to your amps. And the other one, because I was having technical issues, I set up there's an RME babyface converter below this seat, which is normally the SPDIF carrier, and so I just plugged in some analog leads and ran them back. That's like definitely, you would think on paper, oh, that's a loss, but then recording studios use these cards all day long, record people and make submixes, and they even bus things digitally now from stages to mixing desks now, so using these kind of converters. There's still current generation converters. So basically, even with the super tweeters and 300 watts of headroom and all the wizardry of phase alignment, and it's still practically hard to pick something that is superior as being more favoured. I guess it comes down to the difference is so small, it's hard to pick the superior one as the favourite one. So I think at the end of the day, just stick with the digital. Because I also know that there's a little bit of noise in those cables. The noise floor is higher, that sort of garbage. But when you're listening above the noise floor, that becomes irrelevant too. And that was digital, this is analog. Yeah, so I'm also going to be testing different low pass filters because I'm going into a 176.4 from a 44.1 source. I have a minimum phase low pass filter, so I can now do ABs all day long on different digital all pass filters, which is where it was before I had all this trouble. It's a bit of a detailed shot of what was going on in the back of the boot after this. I'm back in the sync business, and the fault I found was unique to the optical input of my UFX sound card. So the UFX is here. This was meant to sync to 44.1 and play at 176.4, but it wouldn't, and in the past I could with this card, and then I just temporarily threw this in. This is just a converter. So what I thought I might try is to try another sync option from the iPad, set this to master, slaving off of that, and then word clock this card to this card, and it seems to be working. So as far as the test rig is concerned, I just lost 2 channels, but I'm going to pull out my broken 5-face UC, pull this out, put the broken UC here, which will just be doing synchronization duties. It's good to have lots of old gear lying around, I guess. But yeah, I did find a deficiency or something that was meant to work but didn't work in this newer card, and that tripped me up for a few months. So we're going to be back in business soon. Yeah, so no more iPad into analog world, then back into digital world. It'll just be iPad, digital world, then into analog world through these amps. Let's have a quick look while we're here. Going to move all these cords up if they just stay. It's a magnetic clip at the moment, so don't shoot me. I love temporary solutions. And we've still got this guy running the subs, I believe, and super tweeters off this, or the other way around. I'm not sure right now. So one day I'd like to change out these 5 channels and get some maybe Class D into the action.